Why do successful private investigators succeed? Have you ever asked yourself this question? When I started as a PI in 2008, I asked myself this question almost every day. I knew some PIs who were crazy successful, easily pulling in six figures, and then I knew some PIs who were barely making it and had to work a full-time job to pay the bills while they tried to build their PI business. The big secret is that the story is the same today as it was back in 2008. Some private investigators are making it big, and it seems so easy for them. But then there are a lot of PIs out there who struggle every single day just trying to stay afloat. Let's quickly go over the top 10 things that make a successful private investigator successful. You need to have a good understanding of the law as it pertains to being a private investigator. I don't mean you have to have a law degree, but you need to know the ins and the outs of the laws and the regulations that govern being a PI. The biggest laws that govern us as PIs are wrapped into our PI licensing. If you understand the requirements for your license and the do's and the don'ts the licensing speaks to, then you are well on your way to having this vital knowledge. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. Using that knowledge as a resource is also a massive benefit for the successful PI. You can use that knowledge of the law to help you in many ways in your marketing and sales efforts. Most PIs just consider getting that PI license a burden and a cost to the business. But if you know the laws that govern being a PI, use that knowledge to your advantage and talk about what you can and cannot do. This will put you far above the crowd when speaking to potential clients. Resourcefulness is vital in many other aspects of being a successful PI. You need to be resourceful, creative, and able to cope with difficult situations and problems. Basically, you need to get the most from what you have. Attention to detail is also a must-have trait for any successful PI. I know we aren't all born with this trait, but we can train our minds to ensure we build the skill. You need to pay close attention to everything, every little detail. You never know what small piece of information will be the one that solves the case. I find it most helpful if I go over everything multiple times too. This goes for everything from reviewing discovery to planning a surveillance to writing my reports. Paying close attention to detail can help you as an investigator as well. It can help you ensure you are providing the best work product. Technological proficiency is a must in this day and age too for a successful private investigator. I have seen the technology grow so much since I started my PI business. Back when I got started, we delivered by U.S. mail usually a CD with our video files and reports for our surveillance. Today, we deliver that stuff through electronic means like Dropbox, or my preferred is Hightail, or some other cloud-based file sharing media, and we can simply email reports to our clients. There are other technological advances you should be aware of, like HD cameras and video footage for surveillance investigators, photo equipment for scene photos, and even case management systems. Now, don't think you need to run out and buy the latest and greatest gadgets just to be up to date. Rather, stay up to date on what is available and how it is used, and make the best business decisions on what to get and not get based on your needs. A great way to help yourself stay up to date is to do some networking. Check out your state PI association and attend some meetings. Take some of their classes and learn what others are using and doing. Networking was one of my most significant career moves as a newer PI. I learned so much about what resources were available and what training I could get, and I made a lot of great business connections too. But don't just go to a meeting. Shake a few hands, attend one or two training events, and then sit in your office and wait for the phone to ring. That is not how it works. You need to be persistent to be successful as a PI, and that persistence in networking and training is a definite must-have. No one is going to hire you, no one is going to send you referral work, and no one is going to trust you just because they met you one time and you seemed like a nice person. I have multiple subcontractors who are my go-to folks when I need help. I have multiple PIs in mind when I need to refer work out that I don't or can't do. But I didn't just start utilizing those PIs because I met them once or twice. I started working with them because we built relationships over time and I learned I could trust them. I have also taken many new PIs under my wings when my business needs met their needs to get work and experience. But it was never because I met them one time. It was because I had met them multiple times and saw their persistence in networking, getting educated, and building their PI careers. Persistence goes a long way in the PI business on other fronts too. You need to ensure you do not get easily discouraged when you hit dead ends in an investigation or have setbacks. You need to understand that some cases, like building relationships, require a lot of time to evolve. One thing you need to ensure you never compromise on as a PI is discretion and confidentiality. You need to know how to handle sensitive information discreetly, which will help build relationships with colleagues and clients. Our PI licensing also speaks to confidentiality, so you need to keep this in mind. One of my biggest pet peeves is meeting a PI for the first time, whether new or veteran, and they start sharing details about their latest, greatest case with me. First off, zero humility is shown as they are bragging about how great they are. And humility goes a long way in this business. If we act like we know everything all the time, then there is little room to realize where we need to get more education. Second, they often share details they should not have, as they have now just revealed things like who their client is, what their investigation found, and how they did their investigation. Not only does this violate confidentiality, but it could also compromise the case. After all, you never know if the PI you are talking to might be working on the other side of the investigation or know someone who is. You need to be aware of how to communicate, who to communicate with, and when you need to communicate. Communication skills are one of the biggest things most PIs lack, and this is one of those things that is hard to identify in ourselves. I mean, after all, we all communicate daily, right? We communicate with our spouses, friends, co-workers, the local coffee shop barista, and many other people. But as a PI, we must ensure we are adept verbal and written communicators. We have to be able to communicate when doing an interview, updating clients, writing reports, and many other PI tasks. I can sit in my office for 8 hours without getting a single phone call. Still, I will usually communicate throughout the day with people via email, text messages, and other forms of media. Make sure your communications are effective, clear, and comprehensive, and if needed, take a class on business communications at your local college. Be persistent in finding the resources you need to be a better communicator. And be ethical in how and what you are communicating to. In fact, you need to be honest and ethical in every single thing you do as a PI. Your PI license probably has ethical facets to it too. Many licenses require continuing education, and often there is a significant focus on ethics training. Keep in mind, your ethical compass will steer where you as a PI will go and how successful you will be. While tens of thousands of PIs are out there, it is still a small world. I have seen some PIs in the past make some not so great choices and compromise their ethics, and well, word gets around quickly. I want to send a shout out to my PI Guy Premium supporters. Eric Hutchinson, thank you, kind sir, for your 28 months of support. And thank you, Eric Lewis, too, for your 17 months as a Premium PI Guy supporter. And a huge shout out to A Investigations for their support as a PI Guy Premium supporter. If you would like more information on how to support the PI Guy channel, click the join button down below. And if you want more great PI training, then check out this video.